always talk about pretty privilege, but they don't talk about how difficult it is to be so absolutely stunning and gorgeous that you just spend so much time looking at yourself in the mirror. You get distracted. It's hard to leave the house sometime because you're stuck looking at yourself in the mirror. Like, it's hard, but I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
The reason you don't get invited out is because you're pretty. Because the girls do not want to invite you out if they feel like they need to compete with you. If you're beautiful, the best piece of advice I could tell you is get used to being your own best friend.
The dark side of pretty privilege is being lusted over but never loved. People always want to say that they've been able to experience you, but never that they loved you or cared for you or was attentive or helped build or whatever the case may be. Being pretty, for me, not has come at a disadvantage. However, I feel like I've said it in my other videos before, I will say it again. Being the pretty girl, people only want you for the trophy to show you off. Like, oh yeah, look at my tit, like whatever the case may be. But I've hardly found longevity. It's just, it's short-winded. It's like, yeah, she's pretty. That's who I'm with right now. And then it's like, yeah, boring. Next caller. Next caller. Next caller. Next caller. And it's like, you can be the best woman, like the prettiest, best woman. Like, you could be nurturing, you could be caring, you could be attentive. You could tick every single box. You still won't make the cut because you, as the pretty girl, you're in use. It's a lusting. You're in use. And then when they're finished with you, when they're bored of the pretty, it's next. I'm telling you. I'm actually telling you. People just want to say they experienced the pretty girl. They never want to sit down and say they loved the pretty girl.
Let me tell y'all something. As a modern day mermaid, as a present day siren, like when you have mermaid and siren energy, you're water spirited. Okay, maybe you are a devotee to a water deity. Maybe you have Aphrodite. Maybe you got that Venus energy. Or if you have a lot of Venus placements in your chart, like Taurus and Libra energy, if you're a water sign, I could keep fucking going. You have to starve these bitches. See, the water is the first bank. It's the first refrigerator. It's like our first mother, okay? When you have a lot of watery energy, people will try to pull on your ass, like constantly typing at your ass. They want a response out of you. Like, even when they're happy or they're angry, like they want to pull off you. They want that energy. They want that water. As a mermaid, as a siren, you got to starve these bitches. A lot of the time, you won't even be able to respond because it's not even worth your time. It doesn't even get anything positive in the world done to even go back and forth with some of these hoes. Dry them the fuck out.
Okay, so you guys like that I mentioned that a dark side of pretty privilege is people trying to humble you. And let me just elaborate on that. People enjoy humbling beautiful women in direct and indirect ways. And that's just because they assume your life is probably amazing and you get everything you want. And how hard could it possibly be being beautiful? Right? So you kind of become like this piñata because they're like, your life is perfect. None of what I'm doing could hurt your feelings because you live a perfect life. In their minds, they feel like you meet society's beauty standard, which has a lot of value in their eyes. In most people's eyes, I should say. So it comes with a lot of envy.
When you're pretty as a girl, a lot of women will only want to be friends with you so they can be close in proximity to your pretty privilege, so they can reap the benefits of your pretty privilege. But the minute their ego creeps in, now it's all jealousy and envy because they cannot stand the fact that they have a friend that's prettier than them or a friend that gets more attention than them.
If you're someone who's pretty or socially deemed attractive, even if you're attractive in the slightest degree, you need to learn how to be a bitch, and let me explain why. If you're wondering, oh, how do I know if I'm pretty or how do I know if I'm attractive? I'll answer that by telling you how I know I'm pretty. First way I know is by how people react when I walk into a room. Like seeing the reaction on their face when they see me, that's how I know. I also have a mirror at home and I have eyes. Like, I know what the fuck I see. I also get compliments from men, women, and I also sometimes get it from children. If you can relate or if you can identify with this, then this is for you. The first reason why you need to be a bitch is because you are going to be a beacon, a trigger for everybody. Okay, not everybody, but for most people. The reason for that is you are a physical representation of someone they wish they could be, sadly. Think of yourself like a mirror to them. You're going to be constantly reminding them of everything they don't like about themselves, especially things they don't like about themselves physically. And because you trigger them, it doesn't matter if you're kind, it doesn't matter if you're a good person. They are gonna find reasons to hate you. This is where you really have to do the work to get to know yourself and know who you are, because they are gonna be picking at everything. For example, your character. Even if you think you're doing right by people, they're gonna find something wrong with the things you do. You're gonna be held to like a very, very high standard, a standard that they don't even hold upon themselves, mind you. So when you make like minor mistakes or very human mistakes, that just goes over their head. This is gonna feel unfair, because it is. And if this was happening to any normal person, what they would want to do is bring it up to them, right? And want to work it out. But if you are someone who is pretty or attractive, I do not recommend doing that, because you are not a normal person. What I mean by that is you are not a normal person to them. Bringing that up to them is just gonna add fuel for them to further damage your reputation, because trust me, they're already damaging your reputation behind your back. You're gonna need to make people uncomfortable with treating you this way. And I'm not saying be violent. I'm not saying you need to shout at them, but I'm saying you need to come off as someone that doesn't take that. When you're someone who is pretty, you need to have like a level of bitchiness to you so that people can respect you. So remaining kind and remaining a good person is actually not helping you. The second reason why you need to be a bitch is in society, there's always this hierarchy. And when it comes to you, they want to knock you down a few pegs. If you are someone who's humble and looks don't really matter to you, you treat everybody around you as equal and you don't place yourself on a pedestal, you don't have to place yourself on a pedestal. They'll put you there. Even though in their mind, they're the one that's putting you up on this pedestal, they're still not gonna like you for it, because they can't help but put you up there, because this is the way society has conditioned us. Because that is the society that we live in. We live in a society where beauty is currency. The more healthy and beautiful you are, the higher up the social hierarchy you are. Even if you tell yourself that you don't want to play into this and you don't want to participate in that type of negativity, you're going to keep running into the same problem, because it's human nature for people to play these power dynamics. There's nothing you can do to stop it. So you might as well learn to protect yourself. And this is not to tell you to be a bitch just to be a bitch. This will actually help you in your social interactions a lot more. You'll find that if you have some level of bitchiness to you, your friendships are a lot better too. People will also treat you better, because again, these power dynamics. I could talk about this all day, and there's actually way more into this subject. It just goes way more deeper, but I wanted to focus on those main two reasons, and hopefully this helps you out there. Hopefully it stops the confusion for you, because it can be hard. Just know that you can still be yourself. You can still be the loving, good person that you are. You just have to be picky with who. I hope this helps.
Here are the worst parts of pretty privilege / being attractive. People love humbling beautiful women. They will literally call the most beautiful women in the world, they're mid, they're not all that, they're not attractive. Oh, people are entitled to their own opinion. Be for real. They're projecting their insecurities onto you, so you feel as low as them, and it won't work. People hold you to a higher standard, and they're literally waiting for you to mess up just so they can say, I never liked her in the first place. I always knew there was something wrong with her. You were just jealous. You were jealous. They want to see flaws in you so badly to make themselves feel better about themselves, to the point where they start spreading rumours or lies about you. People say you're attention seeking if you have low self-esteem, or you're too confident and cocky if you have high self-esteem, or you like yourself. You can't win. Men treat you nicely but with really bad intentions most of the time. You never know if they truly want to be your friend or what they truly want with you. And women demonize you just for existing. They hate you, especially if you're near their partners. They think that we're going to tempt them away, or we'll steal them away, and their man is tempted. Newsflash, we don't want your man. We aren't the temptresses you think that we are. We just want female friends. And also, who wants your man? No one. I promise you no one wants him but him. He's lucky that he has you. People faking being your friend. They want attention from men, so they'll hang out with you, but they'll bitch about you behind your back. This is the worst one. Being sexualized by men to the point where you don't feel like a person anymore. You just feel like an object without feelings, and that's how I feel. That's really nice at first, and then the jokes start. They always say they're joking, and when you're hurt, oh, I was joking. So when you're joking about essaying me and drugging me, it's just a joke. And when I'm upset, I'm the bad person. Getting called a pick-me by women who are actual pick-me's just because you actually get picked and you're more attractive than them. We don't want these men. It's not by choice. People are your friends, but they actively hate you. This has happened to me. They want you to become vulnerable around them just so they can use your secrets against you, especially in a setting where there's men. They want to expose you in a way when you're being vulnerable and telling them something that happened to you. They're not your real friends. This is rooted in misogyny, okay? I've seen women complain about people making these videos because it's seen as tone deaf. There are two sides to every single coin. I won't know what it's like to experience being an unattractive woman. I'm sure it's awful too, just the same. But just because one thing is bad doesn't mean the other side isn't bad as well. Both sides are equally as awful, and it's all misogyny. So please understand, when you're saying women are tone deaf and making these videos, you are just as bad as the men.
It's definitely a thing. I've never been able to successfully have a platonic relationship with a boy. And at first glance, everybody just automatically assumes that you're an actual idiot.
If you're pretty, you're gonna get hate. You're gonna get hate. You're gonna get the utmost motherfucking hate. Just for simply being pretty. You ever wondered why a weird bitch don't like you? You ain't never did nothing to the bitch. If you ever wonder, you just never did nothing to the bitch, and the bitch just don't like you. For some odd reason, she just don't like you. He just don't like you. Baby, it's cause you cute. Yo mama don't be wrong. You know when your mama be like, oh, she probably just jealous of you. Oh, she probably just boom, boom, boom. Baby, no. Your mama been hip to the fucking weird ass shit these bitches been on. It's just that simple. Like, there's been numerous times, numerous instances where I just wonder, like, why don't this person like me? Why this person just don't fuck with me like that? You know what I mean? Like, baby, whole time, this bitch having secret animosity towards me. I just don't really understand that. I'm like, bitch, I'm not even trying to compete with you. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm trying to have my own flow. I got my own shit going on. Whole time this bitch just envious of you. That's some weird shit. I don't give a fuck. But anyways. Yeah. Bitches be weird. Yes, I did just get done eating a steak bagel and don't give a fuck. Bye, y'all.
I love when this topic comes up because I just like to hear people with different perspective, and it was the downside to pretty privilege. There is a downside to pretty privilege, but I don't think it's misogyny. Like I said, I can agree with Celine on that. Like, misogyny is just all the way around the board. You know, men over sexualizing women. You know, guys will fuck a hole in the wall. It is not just exclusive to pretty privilege. But one of the downsides to pretty privilege is that I've experienced myself, and one of my other friends, we were talking about this, is that when you have pretty privilege, you are not humanized. Like, when you are very attractive, people hold you to a certain standard, and they feel like you are not supposed to make everyday mistakes just like everybody else. And I'm gonna use this as an example, especially if people cannot relate to your pretty privilege or your attractiveness, they will be intimidated by you. And not only that, let's use this for example. Let's use Risa Tisa for example. People sympathize with Risa Tisa because, let's be completely honest, she's not an ugly girl, but she's not conventionally attractive. Now, had Risa Tisa been someone who was extremely attractive and over the top beautiful, 10 out of 10, 20, y'all would have really dragged her for Bill. Y'all would have said she knew better. For some reason, it's like attractive people are not allowed spaces to talk about how people treat them, or, you know, it's because you have pretty privilege. People will disregard the fact that you go through things just like everybody else in life. It'll be like, oh, you need to get over it. But if it's somebody else that they deem less attractive, or they sympathize with them, and that's a real thing, and we're not gonna act like that's not a real thing, because it is. Also, something I've experienced with being very attractive, which I think is is weird. Y'all don't really think it's odd to dislike people because they're very attractive. Like, nobody chose their looks. How you mad at my mom and daddy because they decided to lay you down and their jeans did their big one? Like, I think that's so odd to dislike people because of their appearance that they had no control over. Their features, like, we don't have control over that. My experience with the downside of pretty privilege, I'm gonna say mine doesn't even just solely have to do with my looks. I believe that people not only dislike me because of my looks, but the fact that I'm confident too. If you're attractive and you're confident, people don't like that. So I know for me, it's not even just the fact that I'm pretty. It's the fact that I'm confident and I can walk in any room. I can say what I want to anybody. Like, I can just, I can just be myself and walk confidently in who I am. And a lot of times, feeling and being attractive and confident go hand in hand. And that's not like nowadays. Everybody wants you to have low self-esteem like majority of the people in the world. And that's a reality. So that's just my take on that.
I don't like putting myself in this type of category nor gassing myself like this, but here are 4 things that I've noticed that people do when they think you're really pretty and really intimidating. It's fun. The first thing that they'll do is they will stare their behind off, and not like a cute stare like, hi, how are you? Like, it's a stare like, and you're like, huh? But the thing is, they stare like that because they're literally in awe. Like, they're like, I don't even know what to do. The thing that people will do is they'll be a bitch to you because they'll think that you're gonna be a bitch to them. Which to me, I'm never a bitch to anyone, because I think if you're a bitch and you're blessed with a beautiful face, you will eventually be very, very ugly. Also, I was bullied growing up. Like, I'm not gonna be mean to someone just because they're pretty. I can't. Third thing that I've noticed is regarding men, girl, fucking forget about it. Like, you will not get approached. And if you do get approached, it's always gonna be like some bummy ass loser. He has this airhead confidence that you're kind of like entertained by because, you ain't been approached in like 3 months because everyone is like fucking scared of you. So when they do approach you, you're like, Fourth and final thing, especially if you're young, pay attention. People will bully you. You will get bullied. I was bullied when I was young, literally from middle school all the way up until high school, girl. And I can guarantee you the reason why I was bullied is because I was pretty, but I didn't know my self-worth. And once you figure that out, I swear, the sun shines a little bit brighter once you realize that you have a gift and you're ready to utilize it to its utmost extent, because that's your gift, right? Like, what's the point of having a gift on this planet and not using it,
Let's talk about the punishment people face when they're thought too highly of in any regard. For example, if you've ever seen a very beautiful woman, many people assume that she's stuck up automatically and she thinks she's better than people, even before she's ever uttered a word. Or they feel like she doesn't want to be approached, so they never approach her. And it's like, she didn't even do anything to garnish that response. But a lot of times when people think people too highly, they think less of them and they punish them. Or when people think you're smart, right? They'll treat you like you're a know-it-all. So before you even ever utter the word, they assume that you think you're better than them, or that you think they're stupid, even if you've never told them that. And there's so many different areas of life when people think of somebody in a high regard that people punish people for things they never did or said. In reality, it's just projection. Or another avenue you see this in is you'll see somebody who says they believe in God, they're a Christian, they follow Christ. They will be told, oh, you must think you're better than us, or you think you're holier than thou, when they've never condemned you. They simply might just say you're wrong. They might say you're wrong about something, but they never said they thought they were better than you. But automatically, you assume that's what they think. A lot of stuff people have to realize, we got to stop projecting. But before we just come into agreement with certain thoughts and ideas about people, really ask yourself, did that person say that to you? Did that person even do anything to really garnish that response? Or is that something you associate with the archetype of person? Because even then, that's not even fair. That's like assuming somebody acts in a way because they're black. And we would acknowledge that as racist and prejudice, but we do a lot of things to people or have a lot of prejudice for people that we view in high regards. In reality, it's very dehumanizing, because I think we tend to avoid and mistreat people because we project in our own insecurities, but because in a world that tells you you're the greatest and you're so cool, you're smart, and everybody else is the bad guy, we assume it's they're the problem, and we don't really look internally to realize, why am I bothered? Why am I triggered by this person? Why do I automatically assume this person doesn't like me? Why do I assume this person thinks they're better than me when they never told you that? And in that line of thinking, we don't grow because we aren't able to receive criticism. Because think about it. The person you view as smart, they just told you were wrong. And you just assume they think you're stupid. They never told you that, or you feel less than around them. And I think a lot of times we'll point the finger at the other person because we're like, oh, this person said this, therefore I feel like this. But if they didn't say that to you, that's not really on them. That's on you. Why do you assume that's why they said that? Why are you taking offense when they didn't say anything to you to garnish that response? Even when offense is already a choice. They didn't tell you that. I've been seeing celebrities' faces a lot. Like, people will be in their comments creating whole narratives and having whole stories about something that they never even said. But because that person has more money than you or they're famous, you just automatically assume that they think they're superior to you. And they never said that. Like, a lot of us got to stop doing that. Like, it's not cool. Like, if anything, it just shows where you lack. But you won't assess it as that. You'll blame the other person. And it's easier to blame the other person for why you feel a certain way than to acknowledge you need to unpack and understand why you feel that way.
Okay, so on one of my videos, I seen something about pretty privilege, so I actually want to give y'all insight on what it's like to so-called live with that, or what it's like to be an attractive person, like the actual reality of it. A lot of people think that, oh, if a female is pretty or if a man is attractive, that things go their way and they always have good interactions and stuff, and they have good luck, and people show them favoritism. And I'm here to let y'all know it's the complete fucking opposite. It's the complete opposite. Because most females that I come across, they see me as competition, or they're intimidated by me and how I look or my body, especially if they're around their boyfriend or their husband. So I have to like overly show that I'm not a fucking threat. Like, if it's a couple that I'm walking past, I do my damnedest to make sure I'm not looking into the guy's eyes. I just look at her. If I'm like out in public and I have like a crop top or something on, and it's a woman with her female, like, I'm like subconsciously trying to like cover up my stomach and stuff like that to protect her feelings. I naturally, like, my spine, I found out that my pelvic bone, it actually tilts backwards. So I naturally have a dip in my back when I stand, when I'm comfortable, to where it looks like I'm poking my butt out. But whenever I'm around certain females or whatever, like, I can feel it. I can feel the insecurities. They don't have to say shit. So, like, I'll just, like, naturally try to, like, tuck my spine in to where my butt isn't sticking out, you know. But yeah, it's just, you get people looking at you. They don't care that they're looking at you when you're trying to talk to people. They're looking at your body while they're talking to you. Like, they try to hold eye contact, but they're, the fuck? Who popping firecrackers? Anyways, but they are looking at your body while they're talking to you. Like, you can tell they're trying to make eye contact, but their eyes just keep going down to, like, the rest of your body, and it comes back up, and they're trying to stay focused. So when I'm talking to people, a lot of times, if I have on like a crop top, I'm like trying to cover up my stomach a little bit. But yeah, and I know a lot of people think also too, like, oh, pretty female, she get a lot of dudes. You're right. You do get a lot of attention from guys, but it's not in a form of, I want to, well, they say I want to marry you and be with you, but they really just admire your beauty. They don't really know who you are, or even care to take time to get to know who you are. It's just solely off how you look. And, you know, you're just a pretty face. To a lot of guys, you're just a pretty face, a pretty body. You know, they don't actually know you, or stuff like that, you know. So a lot of times you find yourself with people and it just feels surface level. You feel like they don't really know you, or like they really care. So a lot of times you feel alone, because you got the females, they don't really want to be around you. They get close, you feel the envy, all of that shit. And the dudes, they just want you because of how you look. And on top of that, sad to say, but most attractive or pretty females, a guy would choose them because of that. But it may be another female who possesses like
I guess, more aligned qualities that he's looking for. So the pretty female he would keep around as like a side, while the other female who may not be so attractive or whatever, or, you know, may not have the same body, he can get more from her, or she may stick around for his bullshit, or he may see her as less of a threat. Because I just found out that guys, if it's a female that they feel gets too much attention or has too many options, they actually will shy away from her. That shit is crazy. But yeah, I've had that happen to me, to where me and dudes, like, we'll be cool, no talking stage or nothing, just goofing off with each other, funny as fuck. But when that girl is around, it's like I do not exist, because they know their female sees me as a fucking threat. And so to protect their girlfriend feelings, they just completely act like I do not fucking exist, and like we didn't have a friendship in place at all. So that kind of fucking sucks. So you deal with isolation on both sides. When you go out in public, people stare at you. They really don't fucking talk to you. They just look. And you know, people just don't believe that you have a hard time. It's like, oh, you're just so pretty. It's like, all right, bitch, well, I just lost my apartment. I'm behind on my car note. Like, I'm actually going through shit. But nobody sees or believes that because of how you look. So, yeah. And then too, with my body or whatever, if you have a nice frame but other women are not happy with themselves, they'll try their best to make you feel ashamed of your body. Mind you, I'm proud of my body because I carried 2 children and I'm still fit. So I'm very proud of my body. I'm proud to be short. I'm proud to just be 97 pounds. This is my natural frame. I'm happy. I'm content. I'm very satisfied. But you have women who are not happy with their weight, who tell me I should put on weight. And they throw the skinny word, the anorexic word, shit like that. But I know I'm not anorexic. I know I'm not fucking skinny. I'm just fucking fit. I'm petite, you know, and I like it. That's what I would prefer. Because I know what it's like to carry extra weight. When I had my babies, I got up to like 130 something, so I know what extra weight feels like, and I don't want that type of lifestyle. But yeah, you just have people throw sneak little remarks about your body, and you know, especially if you not only attractive and cute, but you also doll yourself up. People swear up and down you doing the most or trying to get attention. It's just like, no, this is what helps with my confidence. This was what helps with my self-esteem. This is a part of pampering myself, you know. So just a whole lot of weird attitudes and weird behaviors and stuff that you have to deal with. And you know, so yeah, that's the reality of pretty privilege. And being attractive is, you know, it comes with its downsides, and you feel alone most of the time and feel like the outcast. So yeah.
And this is honestly no shade, but I keep seeing the pretty privilege talk, and it's really starting to piss me off. I want you guys to know, I'm gonna grab your hand when I say this. It's so many pretty girls in the world. Being pretty is going to get you fucked, not far. You have to have a brain to sustain success off of a pretty face. If you don't have a brain, you're going to be one of those people who need a nigga, not want a nigga. And bitches like to be like, oh, I got this, I got this, I got that. Another bitch got this and that. And it's never smart to use your prettiness as leverage, because when you go into situations like that, they never tend to work out in your favor. And then that's why girls be like, oh, it has its downfalls. No, you're just going in it thinking that that's going to get you somewhere and not being strategic. That's why it's so important to be intentional, have discernment, and know what's for you, because you will keep getting played.
Hey, boo. What's good, co-creators? What's poppin', Ethereans? How y'all doing today? Welcome to the channel. Come on in here. Take them shoes off. Go around. Welcome, welcome. I am Monica, and this is Muse by Monica. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time seeing me, hearing me, and welcome back if you are returning. You are a true one. Yo, we're about to talk about the dark side of pretty privilege, the dark side, the downside, the negative side, the shadow side of being attractive, of being pretty. Now, a lot of people are going to take this and project their insecurities, but I want you to very much pop your shit. Co-creators, healers, you are her. We spend a lot of times dimming our light in order for other people to feel comfortable. If you know that you are pretty, that you are attractive, this video is for you. This is for the girl who is often lusted after but never loved. This is for the rebel who dares not to be controlled. We're about to talk about the dark side of privilege and what it is, what it looks like to be seen as the prize but treated as disposable. So there are multiple sides of the dark side of privilege. My personal experience, there are multiple layers to it, especially with it being in regards to friendships and relationships. I can even think about instances where work, career, being around other coworkers I've been affected, but it's been highly prominent in relationships. For me, if you guys have been following some of the videos on this channel, you know that dark side, shadow side energy, dark feminine energy usually carries a couple of different archetypes. And in those archetypes is the rebel or the siren, the seductress type of witch energy. And automatically, the pretty girls are labeled with the seductress siren energy. You are automatically lusted after, but rarely ever loved. You are rarely ever seen as the girl who you can be the friend and the lover to. You are only going to be seen as the housemaid or the housemaiden, the secretary or the nurse, the caregiver or the healer, the nurturer, or the mother. You finna be somebody's mama. And I find myself in a period of time really wanting authentic male relationships, authentic male friendships, wanting to understand men without the romance, without the lust, without the intimacy involved. But baby, rarely ever will you get a friendship with a male that isn't also paired with some type of lust. They will keep you around long enough just to get what they want. They will play a role long enough just to get what they want. And when it comes to friendships, this has been a little weird in my experience. I realized mostly in college that a lot of people befriended me because I was pretty. I knew that I was pretty, like pretty when I got invited by this Asian, he was a gay Asian guy, to an event. Like it was a very fancy dinner event. Like I didn't know the guy. We had never been really friends before. I think we had met through a mutual friend. And like, baby, I'm so shy and socially awkward. Like I am not the girl to take to a social outing. Like, yes, I have a pretty face, but unless we're conversing about something real deep and intriguing like this small talk, dinner talk, like fake talk, that's not me. You're not gonna get that from me. And I spent a lot of my time, especially in middle school through high school, doing dance and cheerleading. So I found myself in environments where I was around the pretty girls. And there's always that underlying hostility, that underlying jealousy, those underlying intimidating tones by certain girls. Like I remember this time in dance class, this girl They were talking about all the girls' feet, how the girls have really pretty feet or whatever, and they came around to look at my feet, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, Monica, she's got really really pretty feet. You got really pretty feet," but it could just be because she got nail polish on, a really underhanded compliment. And I've experienced that type of thing in friendships and relationships where a guy will try to underhandedly compliment you or try to compliment you by complimenting another woman. Like, what? And then in the work environment, there is definitely a level of expectation placed on you. There's always an air of you can be replaced, I can find somebody better than you. There's always a humbling quality or element to the work environment, particularly when it comes to managers or, the overhead. But when it comes to coworkers, I only sense the quote unquote dark side or downside of pretty privilege with girls who are not as pretty. Like when I am around equally pretty girls or around equally like girls, like I get the same energy from them. Typically when it's the miserable bitches, it's the miserable ones who like company, all right? Misery needs company, and that just goes into um, a lot of girls being intimidated and finding themselves wanting to bully you or humble you or make you feel less than or bring you down to their level because misery loves company. They need somebody to be miserable with. I remember this girl in middle school, I call her Miss Piggy. She used to bully me all the time, and I would just wonder, like, for no reason, like, I would just wonder why she would like me, like, for no reason. She would pick on me for no reason. I would barely, like, I would barely even talk. I barely even spoke to her, and she just hated me so much. And she used to make me cry, and it would just be her words, and it's just like, you miserable fat bitch, like, what did I do to you? And it was absolutely nothing. It was absolutely nothing. And she came the next year or 2 years later and she apologized to me. She did. She apologized in the name of Christianity. So I don't know how authentic it was, but she did apologize and she did speak in the sense of recognizing her own insecurities and just trying to beat down on me because she didn't know who she was. And I've even had relationships like that where a man has literally like tried to, like I said, backhand compliments or try to dim my light or try to compare me to other girls because he was insecure about himself because he didn't know who he was because he didn't know what he wanted for his life. And even in that same relationship, we talked very much about me not wanting to be the girl who's just always lusted after. Tired of being the girl who it just seems like guys just want sex with me, where guys just want a good time. I'm never long term, I'm never wifey. And even if there is some type of long term relationship, there's always another girl. I promise you, there is always another girl. It's almost become like a norm, like this is just how it goes. But I know that that's just not how it goes. Like, that's not my story. That's not finna be my story. That might be some generational bullshit, but nah. All right, but we've been talking for almost 10 minutes, so I'm going to leave it here. I hope that you guys enjoyed these videos. Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you guys resonate or if you feel that you resonate with this energy, let me know in the comments. Comment pretty privileged, dark side of pretty privileged. Let me know, share your story, how you've experienced this. And yeah, y'all, subscribe for more. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.